Today's lesson is averages, a common math topic on exams like the SAT, GRE, and GMAT. Let's dive into the most basic definitions. For example, what is the average? It means the sum of the numbers divided by the number of numbers. So if you wanted to average 2, 5, and 11, you'd start by adding them all up and then dividing by 3 because there are 3 numbers. You would end up with 7 and 11, 18 over 3, or 6 would be the average. Algebraically, what is the average of x and y? That could be represented by x plus y all over 2. First, I sum the two quantities and then divide by the number of numbers. A slightly more advanced question might read like this. If the average of x and 5x is 18, what is the average of 2x and 3x? Again, I go to my definition, which says the average of x and 5x would be x plus 5x over 2, or 6x over 2, or 3x. They told me that equaled 18, which meant I could solve it on out for x, and I happen to get x equals 6. Finally, let's look at the question. What is the average of 2x and 3x? Now that I know x, I can fill that back in. 2x would be 2 times 6, or 12. 3x would be 3 times 6, or 18. And I could find the average of those two quantities by summing those values. 12 plus 18 is 30. And dividing by the 1, 2 terms, and the answer would be 15. The key to solving the harder, more challenging average problems often revolves around finding the underlying total. Let's take a look. So here's the key relationship. The average times the number of numbers is equal to the total. For example, 5 people in a room weigh an average of 120 pounds each. When a 6th person enters, the average becomes 125 pounds per person. What does the 6th person weigh? So start by writing out T1 for the first total. The total weight in the room at the beginning is 120 pounds per person times 5 people. Work it out by hand or on the calculator. 600 pounds in the room. A few minutes later, we'll find our second total, which would be the total weight for 6 people who weigh 125 pounds each. Again, work it out, and you'll get 750 total pounds in the room. We can therefore infer that the 6th person brought 750 minus 600, or 150 new pounds into the room. And there's our answer, 150. Here's another challenging SAT, GRE, or GMAT average problem that can be solved by working with underlying totals. The key relation again was the average times the number equals the total. On a test, the boys' average score was 80 and the girls' average score was 90. If there were 15 boys and 10 girls in the class, what was the average test score for the entire class? So we'll start out by getting the total for all the boys' test scores in the classroom. And if there were 15 boys times an average of 80 points per test, multiply that out on your calculator, 1,200 total points for all the boys. We're going to treat the girls' total similarly. I'll use the subscript G for total of the girls. This time, the average score was 90 times 10 girls in the room would yield 900 points for all the girls' papers in the class. Finally, we could pool those numbers together to find what's sometimes called the weighted average. This time, I'll add 1,200 plus 900 to get 2,100 total points in the entire room. And if 2,100 is the total, divide that by the fact that there were 15 plus 10, or 25 students in the whole room to find the average score for the room, 84 points. Thanks for joining us today. If you're already logged into a Tutor Talk classroom, now go ahead and practice some of these exact types of problems on your own. And if you're not logged in, please visit us on tutortalk.org, where you can take your own fun and interactive online tutorial, watch these videos, and also practice problems on your own. If you happen to live in the San Francisco Bay Area, you can also work with me personally, David Freeling, and I will help you ace your standardized test or just improve with your homework. And the address there, noevalleytutor.com. Please visit me and give me a call. Thanks.